A bird is flying toward a pond at an altitude of 400 feet. At a certain instant, the bird finds that the near side of the pond has an angle of depression of 60 degrees, and the far edge of the pond has an angle of depression of 52 degrees, and you were asked to find the width of the pond. So the first thing you should do is try and draw a picture. So, okay, we have a bird, and it says that the bird is flying toward a pond at an altitude of 400 feet. So, okay, altitude of 400 feet, that means that it must be flying 400 feet above ground level, and it's flying in a straight line. It's not getting closer to the ground or further away from the ground if it's staying at an altitude of 400 feet. And then we see that there's a pond. It's flying toward a pond. Okay, so there must be some kind of pond in the distance here that the bird sees. And then we have this angle of depression. Okay, so the angle of depression is below the horizontal. So that refers to the bird here, because the bird sees the pond. So the bird's line of sight, I'll draw a little dashed line here. And then we have the angle of depression to the near side of the pond and the angle of depression to the far side of the pond. So we get something that looks kind of like this, and then I can complete this to make a right triangle over here, and that more or less is our diagram. Now I'm going to turn this into something that looks a little bit neater and label everything that I know. So they tell us that the bird's flying at an altitude of 400 feet, so this side over here is 400 feet. And then we have the angle of depression from the far edge of the pond is 52 degrees. Okay, so that must be the angle up here. And then I have a 60 degree angle to the near side of the pond. Okay, well, 52 plus 8 is 60, so this little angle here must be 8 degrees. And one last thing, I want to know the width of the pond. Let's call that x. So that would be this side over here would be x. Okay, so that's everything that was given in the problem. Now I just have to figure out what else I can find in the problem. So, okay, first thing I see here, I have 52 plus 8 is 60. Well, I know that this must be 30 because 52 plus 8 plus 30 is 90, and that's a 90 degree angle. Okay, so this triangle here, that is a right triangle, the one with the 30 degree angle and the 400, I can find the bottom side of that triangle using SOHCAHTOA. So in this case, if I have the 30 degree angle, the side that is opposite the 30 degree angle, let's call that y, and then I have the 400 adjacent side. So this looks like a tangent. So the tangent of 30 degrees should equal the opposite over the adjacent. Okay, so the opposite is y, that's across from the y, opposite, and the adjacent is 400. And I want to solve this for y, so I'm going to multiply the equation on both sides by 400, and I get y equals 400 times the tangent of 30. And when I type this into a calculator, I get 230.9 feet. Okay, so now I have y. What else do I need? Well, I need to find x, but I can't get x yet. I need to use another right triangle. How about the big right triangle, the one that includes the pond on the bottom there? So this time I have an angle of 38 degrees up top, and I can still use the 400. So I'm basically going to do what I just did, except I'm going to use the big triangle. Okay, so the tangent of 38 degrees, well, that must equal, well, x plus y on the bottom. And then I have 400 for the other side. Okay, so tangent of 38 degrees is opposite over adjacent. That would be x plus y over 400. And I'm going to multiply both sides by 400 again. So I get x plus y equals 400 times the tangent of 38 degrees. Type that into a calculator, and I get x plus y equals 312.5 feet. Okay, well, I know what x plus y is, and I know what y is. I think I can get x now. I just need to subtract y from x plus y. So if I do that, that would be 312.5 minus 230.9. And let's see, I'll round it to the nearest foot here. That'll be 82 feet.